Stand by. 10 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Am I getting an echo?
No, it must be my TV.
No, I thought I heard an echo there, but it's obviously not. So I was just double checking, making sure. I'm just making sure it's been posted. We're live, so just double checking that. Yep, just checking, making sure. So how are you?
I'm good. I've had my ups and downs lately, but life carries on. Life carries on.
As they say, life's a bitch, then you marry one.
I ain't got around there yet.
So what have you been up to?
Well, I've been watching a lot of things, and also I got my book's been proofread. It's now back with me, and me and Colin are working on it.
Excellent, that's superb.
Yep.
Superb.
Still no sign of the artwork yet, but I've been told I've got to wait until I paid at least probably about 60% until they,
You don't want to actually, if somebody just pulls out, I suppose there is that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but in the interesting note, I've got a new chair.
Excellent. I need to get a new chair. Mine's just falling apart. It keeps on going throughout the day, and I have to keep popping it up. So
The upholstery was falling off mine, and the rubber section here was like falling apart. So I thought,
oh well, both of mine are actually taped, so they are black tape on them just to actually keep them held together. So I've got Gorilla tape on them, both arms, because they basically started cracking and stuff like that. So I need to get a new chair. So
yeah, I just find it funny when it starts to crack on there. It's like it don't last forever, does it?
yeah, it dries out, and you're basically, because your arms are on it all the time, it just cracks.
Yeah.
And I'm on mine every day.
It's like when you've been sitting on it forever. It's that the leather starts to go.
Yeah.
But I haven't chucked the chair. I haven't chucked the chair out. My little brother's got it now.
I know mine's is going out. I got this part of my work when I was still there as a 10-year thingy, so I've had it. God, 3-4 years. And considering I'm in my man cave every day for hours on end, it's basically got. But it had the plug, so I can plug it in, and it vibrated massage chair and all that. That didn't work. I basically ran over the plug a couple of times, or the wire, and I snapped it, so that was gone. And then it started going gradually throughout the day, and I just basically have to keep setting it back up. So if you see my head going down in there and I stand up and I have to, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
how's the UFO anyway?
Still sitting there.
It's in the cabinet now.
There, it's in the cabinet there with a certificate of.
Yeah, I can see it over there.
So yeah, and I've cleared this cabinet out. As you can see, the top shelves there now, my metal detecting stuff. I'm going to get a couple more shelves to put in there, just so, because everything's on the one lower level and they're quite tall. So I'm going to get something that sits in so I can have multiple shelves on it.
Well, I'm going to do a little bit of unboxing later, but not yet.
Right. What's up, Benj? What's up?
Hello, Benji. You should get a second camera for the dogs.
No, dog cam, no. Because I know I was there.
I know, but it'd be great. It'd be frightening amount of views we get.
Yeah, and the fact is, I've put my stuff that I've got here, and it's taking his seat, so you'll just see him. Right, I did.
Well, anyway, shall we talk about Doctor Who, but not the new episode?
You can talk about it all you want, but
No. We're not talking about the new Doctor Who episode.
no, I'm saying you can talk about it all you want, but I've got nothing new about it.
Yeah, but what I want to talk about is what I've been building.
I do have new stuff about it, but they're in my collection at the moment. I bought 4 new DVDs.
No, what I want to show the people is that the Dalek build for my little brother. Look how big this is. Now, I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there like building it up and all this and that, but look at it. You know?
Not too bad.
No.
Can't wait to see when it's complete. Can't wait for it to be complete. So the height of it.
Well,
What's
how
up,
can I
buddy?
put this? My little brother has already stuck this on his head. You know.
There you go, boys.
It's not bad.
It isn't at all.
But anyway, yeah, so when you see us again, probably next month, you'll probably have the next dome light on it on that side.
Yeah.
And then I'll be showing like the internals, what's happening.
Excellent. And is there electrics to go with it to light them up?
Well, you got the wires inside already.
So there will be something at all.
Yeah, there's going to be a little, what do you call it, board
Voice
inside.
modulator. A wee voice modulator.
Well, it can't. Yeah, it has its own voice modulator. But the thing is that some people are going to reprogram this. I was hoping to paint this black, but the thing is that I've got to like give it a good smooth down. But I might do that at a late.
I would leave it the way it is. You know what I mean? If you're going to do that, you should have done it before you started assembling it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, these are individual plates, so I can take them off any time.
Aye.
Right, it's not like I spray the whole thing black. It's just because I wouldn't mind a black dome Dalek. That's the main thing.
I know, but you have to do the whole thing, which means you don't want to just do black dome and then it's brass. The rest of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I picked up 4 DVDs, three Colin Baker and 1 Sylvester McCoy's. I got the Time in Irani. Let's see. Hold on a second. I need to actually dig this. I'm going to stop licking my hand when I'm using the mouse. He's got a habit of doing that, so he basically just
your dogs like being on cam, don't they? I like showing off.
They do. So I got where is it? That's Peter Davison, Colin Baker. I got Twin Dilemma, The Mark of the Rani, and Attack of the Cybermen. And I got Time in the Rani from Sylvester's. So I bought those 4. So that's now, well, apart from the stuff that's not been released yet or redone in William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton, I've got the complete John Pertwee. I've got Tom Baker's Everything Except the Invisible Enemy. I've got 5 to get for Peter Davidson. Colin Baker's is complete, and Sylvester's only got Paradise Towers to get. And the reason I've not completed the collection is I don't just go out and buy them as full price. I always search, and I like eBay and stuff like that. So getting them for a couple of quid here and there. I like the search for them. So
well, I am going to get all the Doctor Who's on Blu-ray at some point, and I'm going to check out. Well, I'm not going. I'll probably give the DVDs to my little brother or something. I know you don't watch the DVD anymore because you'll ruin them, but it's just something for him.
Well, I watch the DVD. DVDs are fine for me. I don't really care about Blu-ray.
My little brother ruined all these DVDs by overplaying them over and over and over again, you know, and it's great.
No such thing as overplaying anything.
Right. Well, the DVD's got scratched, so.
Aye. Benji, lie down. Stop faffing around.
Yeah.
His bed's making him. He's uncomfortable in his bed, and he keeps on kicking the cover because he's got a bed light nightmare. Like, lie down. Buddy's off. He's not getting enough attention, so he's off. Like, lie down. Lie down. So I had a wee fun week. I was at the races, the Scottish National.
Yeah.
I went down with enough for it, expecting to lose about 120, 130 pound, and I lost about a tenner.
Is that it?
That was including the booze and the food. So,
right.
so I won. I got two winners and 2 places. So I won about. I spent about 100 nods, and I won about 100 nods. Plus, it paid for food and booze, so did not too bad.
You don't mind me asking, where's the Scottish Grand National held again?
Ayr
Yeah.
Racecourse, just down the road from us, about half an hour down the road.
Yeah, I just never knew about. Well,
Aye, because the muscles
it
are
was a
raised.
Scottish Grand National, but I didn't know where it was. I know about the Grand National.
Aye, well, it's Ayr Racecourse. So it is. And we had great seats. We were basically sitting right on the finish line.
Nice.
Aye.
Packed out.
It was. And it was a nice day. It was nice and sunny. It was a wee bit overcast because it was coming to the end of the sunny period.
Yeah,
So it would all perfect weather right up until then it would start to be a bit overcast. But it didn't rain or anything like that.
It's been strange that we've had lovely weather so far.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Spain and Portugal and all that have been having it bad. And there's all these people going on Spanish holidays.
Aye, well, that's always the case. You go on a holiday, you've got a 50-50 hit split if it's actually going to work.
But you wouldn't think Spain, would you?
Well, the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Yes. But this time it fell on the ground.
Yeah, so... Aye. Well, I'll show you a couple of the first sets of the... I picked up 4. Well, these are the first 4. I got Goldfinger. Die Another Day.
Wasn't too sure on that one.
The Living Daylight.
Oh, that's a good one.
And The
Spy
Spy
Who Loved Me.
Although the case in this one's a wee bit tattered, so I've got a couple of spare cases, so this case needs to be replaced.
Do you want to know an interesting fact about that? They had to include the lyrics, The Spy Who Loved Me, in it, right? When originally the song was called Nobody Does It Better, right? You know, it's a good sing song, really.
Yeah. Do you know what I've been watching? It's got some really nice tidbits about it.
What's that?
Been watching the Phil Silver show, Sergeant Bilko.
Hey.
Right, they were going to call it You Never Get Rich because of the army song. We're in the army now, we're up behind the plough, you never get rich, digging a ditch. So they were going to call it Never Get Rich. And then they decided against that and decided to call it the Phil Silver Show, which everybody now refers to as Bilko.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Steve Martin. I like Steve Martin as a comedian and some things, but he was not Bilko. When Bilko realised they were going to do an army thing, he didn't want to learn all the commands, left, right, attention and all that. So that's why he gets the he basically could cover anything. In the Steve Martin one, it was lift the arm, put the gun up your shoulder, and all that, as if it just made no sense. It didn't even sound military, whereas Bilko's sounded military and said nothing. Right, but
the thing is, Sergeant Bilko, like the Phil Silvers show, it was like a get rich quick scheme, like every week, wasn't it?
Yeah, in effect, yes. But there's a couple of actors got their start on it. Alan Alda.
What, MASH?
He was in one episode as a struggling artist. He says that was his first. Dick Van Dyke was in a couple of episodes, and he says Phil Silvers taught him certain things because he'd never acted before, like making his mark and stuff like that. He didn't know it. He learned all that in Phil Silvers. But there was things like Lucia Ball was on it, Bing Crosby was on it, Dean Martin was on it. Just wee cameos here and there. So you know what I mean? So, but I've been watching Phil Silvers and I've really enjoyed it. And there's been a few interviews about it, and there was one of the interviews they were talking to his two of his daughters. He had 5 daughters, so he did. So he was talking to 2 of his daughters in one of the interviews, and they were saying the weirdest thing was when Robin Williams met Phil Silvers. Robin Williams was speechless. He literally couldn't. He just stared. He basically was. When did I say hello?
No, it comes up with all destinations here.
But yeah, but basically Robin Williams, and they're saying Phil Silvers, when he started in vaudeville when he was young, he left at 6th grade, so that'd be what I would assume. If it's 6th grade, I would assume it's like primary 7 for us. So probably left about 10, 12, went on to Broadway. And he was accordingly very intelligent because he read, because he didn't have proper schooling. He just basically just kept reading, and he would read hundreds of different things. However, accordingly, the way he did things was very like Robin Williams. He could make things up as they went. So he was very fast talking, and he could just catch up. Nothing could really catch him. Like there's an episode with a monkey in it, and it's one of Phil Silver. It was one of Phil Silver's favourite one, and he was meant to be representing him in a court martial. So he's sitting with a monkey, and he's going as if he's talking to the monkey, and he's coming up. I object because of this and because of that. And at that point, the monkey gets off the seat, goes over, and fiddles a bit with the phone. And Phil Silvers didn't even trip up, turns around and says, he's even trying to get a new lawyer. And he's basically, you know what I mean? So they left all that in because he literally would say things like, leave 2 pages blank and say something funny, because they knew they couldn't write anything better than what Phil Silvers could say. It'd be like what they would do with Robin Williams, like Mork and Mindy. A lot of that stuff. Robin Williams, it was stuff he tried out in stage shows, or he was wanting to try out, so he used to just riff on it, and they didn't really have a script for him. They had the story and wanted him to fill it, and he usually just filled the parts. He was meant to be Mork himself, and Phil Silvers was an idea.
Yeah, did you know Phil Silver's only done one British film?
Carry On Up the Camel.
Well, it's not. Carry On, Follow That Camel, but it's not actually called Carry On. They just added it later on. It was called Follow the Camel.
Yep.
You know, it's like also, Carry On, Don't Lose Your Head. Well, that was actually called Don't Lose Your Head.
I know, but a lot of them basically were known as At Your Convenience, because the Carry On was and assumed with a majority of them. They added them, they put them on at the beginning, but at the end, they basically, when they were referring to them, they would say At Your Convenience or Doctor. You know what I mean?
Doctor what?
As in Carry On Doctor, Carry On Again Doctor, But they when they were referring to the movies, they would just call them things. It'd be ones like, if it just had like Doctor or something like that, they would say Carry On Doctor. But on the whole, a lot of them refer to just based on the part of the. I've got the up there. What a Carry On. The book is there. Hold on a wee sec.
I love the Carry On movies, especially with the innuendos. The official story of Carry On films.
Yep. So aye, so it's a good book as well. Basically, it's got all the things about it, Cleo and stuff like that. Every movie, Sergeant, the lot, who was in it, and it's a really good book. So I would, if you get a chance, recommend it.
Well, I was going to say about Phil Silvers. He only done one British movie, which was Carry On Follow That Camel.
He got
£30,000 for it.
Yeah, and it was the same idea. It's basically, funny thing happened in the way to the forum.
Yeah,
that was a stage play, and he starred in that. I mean, around he was better known for that. However, a lot of people in Britain didn't know anything about it until the movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away, I think, just before it was it, and they got Buster Keaton was in it.
Phil Silvers passed away in 1985.
And when did Forum come out?
Funny thing, that came out in 1966.
Is it? I thought that was his play. I didn't realise that was the movie. It came out in 66.
Well, no, the film came out in 1966. And the greatest thing about that, you had a cameo from John Pertwee in it.
Yep. I have seen it. I've got it somewhere. So it is.
The stage play, he did the 1972 stage play as well.
He basically he passed away doing that. Well, he was doing, because that was basically a runner. It wasn't just a one-off. It ran for a wee while. But Phil Silver's one of my favourites. He's always been. Phil Silver's, Lauren Hardy. I prefer them rather than things like. I liked Abbott and Costello, but Lauren Hardy was my favourite for all the double acts at the time. Lauren Hardy, but all the comedians, things like that, Phil Silver's, because I think he had just one of those.
Abbott and Costello. The only thing I remember them for was like films, really, until I saw the first Space sketch.
The first
Space.
Oh no, that I knew. I'd already known about that. My dad was a big fan, so I grew up watching it with my dad. So I knew all the things they used to do. Who's on first? What's on second?
Yeah, I would love to recreate it.
Aye.
Yeah.
Oh no, you need. I saw somebody try to recreate it, and they spent weeks rehearsing, and they still got it wrong because it is very technical. Unless you know. Even if you've got it wrote and down pat, one wee slip up, a wee smile in the wrong time, it basically throws the rhythm off because you're no meant to laugh at two. It's meant to be serious and stuff like that. It's the same as when he does his 7 times 13. It's 28. He does the calculate. He does the multiplication, the subtraction, the division, the addition, and they all come up to 28. So he's done that. There's on my channel. There's, if you look in Abbott and Costello, you'll see a few of them.
Yeah,
I've got them on my channel, so they are. You dig them up if you want.
What about the Marx Brothers?
Oh, I've got the Marx. I've got all Marx Brothers movies. So I have.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
Groucho Marx just made me laugh with the cigar and like kept talking fast and everything else.
You know why Groucho Marx had the painted on tash and the eyebrows, don't you? Because when they used to do vaudeville, he always was late. So he would just get a bit of, they call it the grease paint, and just go like that, rather than actually put a moustache on to keep it in case it would fall off during the lights. So he would just get the grease paint and go, all right, and then, and that's basically, it was a look of his character, and that's why they kept that, because it became synonymous. But he did it because he was always late, or else, you know what I mean? So he would just run on and go, whoop.
What about Will Hay?
I've got all Will Hayes as well. I love Will Hay, especially the old man.
Yeah, and apparently the one who played the old man was not really old.
It wasn't. It was even. I don't think he was as old as Will Hay.
No, but he just put on the makeup and everything else, and he was really convincing.
Yep. I can't even remember his name. But I've got the Will Hay collection as well. They're down there. So they are beside the Mabbott and Costello and stuff like that collection. My Laurel and Hardy.
Let me
No, I
check.
moved my Laurel and Hardy. My Laurel and Hardy's moved. I can't remember where I moved it to because it used to be over there, and I think I moved it to there or something.
More Marriott, his name was.
Yeah.
More Marriott.
Aye. So he was really good. So he was.
You had Graham Moffat.
That was a wee tubby guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you had Will Hay, and they were just like a comedy trio, really.
Yep, they were.
Because the first Will Hay film I was introduced to was Oh Mr. Porter.
Yep, a good one as well.
Yep.
I think that's probably one of his best known. So
well, I did like Convict 99
Ah.
and Ask a Policeman. And the funny thing about Ask a Policeman, right, was that it was remade, right? The guy who wrote it was Val Guess, right? And Val Guess remade it with Cannon and Ball.
Yep.
Called The Boys in Blue.
Yep, I've got that as well. I was aware of that.
So how can I put it? I call The Boys in Blue like a spiritual sequel in a way to, Ask a Policeman.
Aye, but it's basically it's the same as the Ghost Train. The Will Hay did the Ghost Train one as well, which is an Arnold Ridley one with Arthur Askey. So Will Hay did a Ghost Train one. It wasn't based on the same. It was based on the same idea, but I don't think it was the Arnold Ridley one. But it was a similar idea. It wasn't during the war, so it wasn't. It might be smugglers rather than German agents. So it was a similar, but they all knew each other, so they did. So,
and the funny thing is, going back to the Carry On links, right? Will Hay did a film called Good Morning Boys, which had a young Charles Hawtrey in it. So,
that's in the collection. That's in the Will Hay collection. So it is.
I know he tried to do Hey Hey USA, but that didn't really. It wasn't all that good. It wasn't because they teamed him up with a comedian called Edgar Kennedy.
Edgar Kennedy was the cop. The guy used to play the cop in the Laurel and Hardy movies. Laurel and Hardy were not meant to originally be a duet, a double act. They were meant to be a triple act. With Finlay. What was his first name? James Finlay. See the wee guy, used to be bald guy like that, and he would always think me. They did a lot of movies with him, but the organisers basically started dropping James Finlay and bringing in other characters to be the foil. But initially, it was the three of them. They used to work together very closely. So a lot of the movies you'll see James Finlay and he'll give it that.
No, Will Hay didn't do it. Just wasn't like he didn't just make comedy films. He done two films, rare ones, called The Big Blockade and Go to the Blazes.
Yeah.
So
I would need to check the box sets I've got, but in the Will Hay box set, I think it's got all his movies. He did. But it's one of those things. There's a lot of good stuff, box set wise, as it were, for comedians. I've got as I said, the Will Hay one. I've got the Arthur Askey ones. I've got the Marx Brothers. I've got the Three Stooges. I've got, I've got a load of different old ones.
I was never a fan of the Three Stooges. I don't know.
I liked their shorts when they tried to go out, when they did movies which were longer. It sort of fell apart, but their shorts were good. Their shorts were good because it was just silly. And then you look at they did the remake of the Three Stooges.
Yes.
They did a remake of Three Stooges, same as they did a remake of Laurel and Hardy.
Well, apparently the remake of the Three Stooges, it was supposed to be a biographical film, but they
Yep.
said it didn't work, so they just turned it into like a
Yeah. And remember I was talking about that movie, the one that was like a Groundhog Day one, the boss level.
Mhm.
Remember, Mel Gibson was the boss, and his henchman was the big guy, Baldy. He was the one that played Curly in the
Ah,
Three Stooges.
I think that
The
was
one that
one.
got stabbed in the head, and he was giving it the "I can smell peanuts" and falls back. He was the one that played Curly. So he did. No, Curly, the bald one. He basically. So he played him. So when he did that bit with the sword sticking out your dark and it was looking funny, he has got comic chops because obviously he did a Three Stooges thing. But when the Three Stooges was nothing in comparison to the original Three Stooges. It's the same as the guys that did Laurel and Hardy, even Steve Coogan and
Oh, I know you're on about, yeah.
I liked the movie, but I liked the movie as in they were portraying the two characters. But I've seen ones where typical American ones where they tried to recreate Laurel and Hardy. It did not work. The Steve Coogan and he was in Twin Brothers. I hated that movie, and I don't really like him. If he's in something serious, I think he's okay. But when he tries to do comedy, I don't think he works. And because he was playing Oliver Hardy, and he was playing it serious, but he was playing a series as in Oliver Hardy. Then he was him as an actor. That's different because he was playing. It was a serious role apart from when they were meant to be doing the Laurel and Hardy sketches. So it wasn't a comedy as such. It was a serious role, and it worked for him. I can't remember his name. Somebody must know his name. I keep on thinking Henry or Harvey or Henry something.
I'll look it up for you.
It's just called Stan and Ollie. Steve Coogan and Henry, Harry,
John C. Riley.
John Riley. Aye. But it's just it worked because they played it as a serious role, as in playing serious role of two comedians. That's different. It's a different thing, but he was good in that. But I didn't like him in things like was it Step Brothers? Not Twin Brothers, Step Brothers. Didn't like him in that. But then again, I didn't like Will Ferrell in that. I don't like Will Ferrell in anything except Anchorman. It's the only movie I like Will Ferrell in. All the other ones, Elf and all that, I cannot abide him in them. I don't think he's funny at all. And I think I like Anchorman is because he almost played it as if he was playing it straight. He was just ridiculously. It was Leslie Nielsen doing police, police story or police squad and Naked Gun. He played it serious, and that's why it worked. So it's that type of thing. I don't like Will Ferrell.
Well, you don't see much of Will Ferrell these days, anyway.
Good. I know, unfortunately, you see too much of other people like Jack Black. Everybody, for some reason, thinks he's great. But he's no. He's Jack Black in everything, and he's no even funny in anything. The only thing I liked him
All I know about Jack Black is he was in a few films to star off with, but he also had a band called Tenacious D, which he still plays with. But
I know about Tenacious D, and it's the same as I know about the School of Rock, which I never liked, but I'm not into rock music or anything like that, so it didn't bother me. And a lot of people say he was really good in that. However, I just don't find him funny in anything he does. I've watched him in Gulliver. I mean, he did Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about
And
that
it
one.
was, to me, it was because it was just his humour and it was just not funny.
Hmm,
So, but I
interesting.
hated them in the King Kong one, where they're running down that thing with all the dinosaurs chasing them. I thought he was ridiculous.
This is interesting. Jack Black had a minor role in the film Demolition Man.
Aye, he was only a wee part. I think he played one of the,
Wasteland Scrap, yeah.
yeah. I knew he was in Demolition Man. Aye.
His film career has been going on since 1992.
It just goes to show somebody must like him or else he must know some secret.
Actually, no, hold on a minute. No, his film career's been going since 1982, but he was in an episode of The Fall Guy back in 1984.
But it's just to me, it's just it was an extra, and basically that to me that's not your film career because if you're an extra standing in the background doing this and doing that, is that a film career? Yeah, I mean, does that mean my film career works if I get an extra role? Do you know what I mean? It's not technically a film career if you're actually being an extra. Once you get a line or a recurring part or something like that. Yeah, I mean, you get these guys that are like Coronation Street and EastEnders. They're always it's the same guys in the pub all the time. It's the same as Babylon 5. You had the same characters in the background all the time. They're still extras. I wouldn't class that as their career because they're extras in the background.
Oh, well, how can I do you know what program I miss? Because I know I was young when it came out. Cheers.
I liked the beginning of Cheers. I just didn't like the end. I like Diane.
Yes.
I did like Kirstie Alley's. Can't remember Kirstie Alley's character name. Was it Kirstie? No, it was the.
No.
But I liked her character. But when they kept changing things at the end, and I just thought didn't quite go because when the coach left and stuff like that, obviously the guy passed away. It's not as if he left. It was just a case of when his character was no longer there, it wasn't as funny. And then obviously Carla eventually became annoying. Cliff and Norm were always funny.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they brought in Fraser and stuff like that, that was a wee bit okay initially, but I think Fraser worked better. Yeah?
What about Woody Harrelson?
Woody Harrelson was okay at the beginning. But the problem is with a program, it's a long-running one. If a character never changes, it becomes boring. But the problem is everybody likes the initial character, so when he does change, and if he changes too much, people don't recognise him. And the problem is you could still have someone who's a wee bit thick, but if he's still meant to be that naive and he's worked in a pub that long, he wouldn't have lasted that long in a pub if he was that naive. And you can't be that naive. It's so the problem is with TV shows is people like the character, and if it doesn't change and it's the exact same, people get bored with it. But if it does change, people go, but I liked him when he was like that. It's a catch-22. Very rarely you can have a character that can stay that or change. But the good thing is if it changes very slowly over time, it works. But
I just like the theme tune where everybody knows your name.
Same as Fraser. The ensemble for Fraser was great. Niles was the funniest because you saw Niles the way he started the pompous thing, brother, gradually to the end where he was a bit more confident and he had Daphne and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So Fraser worked for that as well because you saw the Niles change, but it changed enough, but not enough, if you know what I mean. It didn't change too much, but it changed enough. So he was still the same character, you could recognise him, but it had a growth to him. Whereas I think the Woody's character didn't have too much growth, and I didn't see it. And it's just things like that. Whereas the barflies, they didn't need to have growth because they were just barflies. They would come in, sit down, drink, and then just talk their usual rubbish. You didn't need them to have growth. Whereas Woody, because he was always in there and he was you had to have growth with him. It's just, but it's a difficult thing to actually catch up with. Anyway, I'm going to do another couple of movies. Right, 3 more. Fantastic Four: The Legend Begins. It's basically it's the animation one. Eh?
That's the animated version, isn't it?
That's the animated version. Yep. So I got that one.
Batman Begins, 1-disc edition.
Yep, it's just a standard edition. And
Oh,
Alien 3.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I've got 1 and 2. I had to get it to finish the thing because I've got Aliens, you know what I mean? So I had to get Aliens 3 just to finish the collection. So I did. So I picked them up as well. These all came out of the same charity shop, so they did. But aye.
Shall I show people what I've got?
Yep, go ahead. Show us.
Viewers. Okay. Right. I know that I posted these on Facebook and everything. Well, we're not on Twitter. Yes, I've finally got Thunderbirds 1 and 3. And I've also got Thunderbird 2 and 4.
Superb. I
know there's a bigger version of Thunderbird 4, but I'm not going to bother getting it because I want Thunderbird 5. So, because the Thunderbird 3 is going to dock with Thunderbird 5, and then I can put them on stands. But can I just say something, PJ?
Mm-hmm.
I know I've showed you these before. Look how bloody small they are.
They're small, but I've seen a lot. No, I think they're a decent size considering.
Yeah.
There's 2 dock with there's 4 dock with 2. Okay.
There's 2 dock with 4. Yeah.
No,
well,
4 dock with 2. Okay.
Yeah, it does. I'll show you in a minute. So, 3. Now the thing is, when the nose cone goes in to Thunderbird 5, it'll probably get there. But the interesting thing about this Thunderbird 3, it's got Thunderbird 3 written all around it. But there was a few complaints online saying, oh, it doesn't match up and all this and that, and you think, oh, who cares?
Well, if you're buying them, I can understand why people hang me because they're wanting the connection.
Yes, but it's, how can I put this? I'm not really bothered, really, because they're corgis. Mm-hmm. You know, they're corgis. Right, just give me a second. I'm just trying to see what.
I thought they were actually spaceships rather than dogs.
Alright, so here's Thunderbird 2, my favourite. You'll probably guess because it's right there. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping to get Thunderbird 1 built one day. There we go.
Excellent.
Proper screen accurate colour.
Right, now put number 4 in it.
Like so. But the interesting thing about these, on the
original your front legs no down.
There we go. The interesting thing about these models, right, is that on some editions they didn't have 4 painted on it. But I got told, oh, is there going to be any more pods and that? And I think
yes, because they used to have, if you remember, the pods would go under. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because they were different things in different pods.
There's Thunderbird 4.
Superb.
Now, I could get this open in a way, but I don't want to damage it.
You need nails or something like that to get it open.
Nails at the moment. You see. Hold on. There we go. Aha! There you go. And then Thunderbird 4 splits in there, and boom.
Ideal. That's what you want, because you want it standing over with Thunderbirds with the pod at the bottom and Thunderbird 4 sitting in it.
That's not going to happen because it's going back in the box.
I know, but when you ever get around to displaying it.
Oh, yeah. I will display it in the future, but at the moment I'm just keeping them in their box to make sure they don't get dusty. Just wait until I get Thunderbird 5. That'd be, I think that'd be the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. Look at paint detail.
That's what you want in your paint.
I know,
on your-
because the original Corgi models they released of these, it was a darker green. But it actually matches because they said we made a complete cock up. So, it's the actual colour. It is the actual colour.
It's like the TARDIS. Some companies early on, if you look at some old TARDISes, they're
Yeah.
slightly different colour. Is because the BBC had a particular colour of blue.
Hmm.
And if they didn't tell the people who were making them what the colour was, they would just put their best match. And
Yeah.
it was only in hindsight they realised it was wrong. So it would be the same idea. If Corgi got the license to do it, they might not have told them what colour of green, because there's all these different variations on it, and they've just tried to match it the best they could.
It's going off in one in the background. Well, guess what I'm getting next?
5.
I've got to stop pressing that button. No, it's not number 5. This got announced. I was smacking my head against the wall. So, they're releasing the Thunderbird Blu-ray box set.
Yep.
This is the ultimate icing on the cake. Super Space Theatre. And the interesting thing about Super Space Theatre is that they do them as complement Asian films, I think. Oh, I couldn't.
Complementary.
Yeah, where they do Space 99, UFO, Captain Scarlet, Joe 90. They did it with Terrorhawks as well. But the thing is, the first one I ever saw, the first ever episode of Thunderbirds was Terror in New York City. But it was on my brother's VHS of Countdown to Disaster.
Good.
So Countdown to Disaster is what you call going to be the icing on the cake. I am definitely getting this. I can't, and I'm hoping, please, Jamie Anderson, don't make this a limited edition.
Oh, they will. You can guarantee it.
You best not, because the thing is that I'll go mad. You know how quick limited editions sell out.
Yep.
But yes, I'll be getting that, and I'll be giving it a good watch. Really, I'm hoping my PlayStation's going to work, because do you know what I was saying? Do you know what I miss?
What's that?
The old disk drives when you have on the PC.
Hey, you can buy a USB one.
Yeah, no, but
what do you mean the old disk drives? My DVDs, my PC has still got it, because when I ordered it, I requested one.
Yeah, but the PC I got, it didn't come with a disk drive.
Well, get a USB one.
I don't want a USB one.
It works the same principle.
I know it works the same principle, but what I just used to love to do was have game discs and all this and that, and just open the slot up, pop it in, and away you go.
Yeah, that's what I do in my PC.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore.
Because I knew in advance that that's what I wanted it to do, so I ordered it like that.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is the thing about the brand new PCs and that these days, is that they think everyone's watching everything online, which they are.
That's why when I ordered it, I basically I made I ticked the box saying include an optical DVD writer. So I've got the DVD read writer. And
well, anyway. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Well, yeah. So Thunderbird 5, and hopefully when I get it, I can be able to show it off. Say yes, I've got it. But what I might do is, how can I put this? Get my PlayStation working, and link it up to my PC, and then do some screenshots of showing how good the quality is.
Yeah. Problem is, if you do a screenshot, it depends how the quality when somebody's watching it online. Because if they've got a low,
I won't do like a watch along. I'll just show, look how bloody clear that is, you know.
yeah, but as I'm saying, like for instance, I'm watching. If it's on the other one, if I go into the settings and the quality playback at the moment is auto 720p. So if I up that to 1080 high def, it would slow my connection down and make it a wee bit glitchy. So it's things like that. So it doesn't matter how good quality you see it, unless somebody's watching it in good quality. It's just one of those things. That's the
Well,
worst part of it.
right, I am going to like bring in a clip. Give me a second. Right. See, this is the original VHS copy someone uploaded to YouTube. Don't know how clear it's going to be, but take a look at this. Okay?
Yep.
Here we go.
That looks actually okay. Decent
This was
quality.
VHS copy.
But that looks okay. It looks like decent quality.
As soon as it's in HD, but sometimes it doesn't work out. I just want to know how clear the Blu-ray version is.
Reminds me too much of Hitchhikers.
This was made before computers were DVD.
You need to watch because you could get hit with some strike.
I know. But what I can say, you see how blurry it is there?
Yeah.
How clear do you think it is going to be on Blu-ray?
Oh, it's going to be a lot better. You guaranteed because they're basically going to tidy it up. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how good it is in Blu-ray. If you're watching it in, like for instance, somebody's quality because of the speed, their broadband connection, if it drops it down to like 720, it's going to look bloody anyway.
I know, but what I'm not going to do, what I'm going to do is just show screenshots really of like saying, so you've seen now how blurry that is from the VHS copy. But the interesting thing what it said in the trailer is that you can watch a VHS copy version of it, right? Mm-hmm. And also a clear version of it. And also you can have switch between the music that was featured and the one without. So they've really done their homework on Countdown to Disaster, Thunderbirds to the Rescue, and Thunderbirds in Outer Space.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. It's going to be interesting when it gets released. And then they said August time you'll have the Thunderbirds Blu-ray collection.
Good.
The restored version. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I came across a company that basically is still transferring old audio tapes, old mini discs, cinema films, or CD, or VHS or Betamax onto a download. And I've got a couple of old Doctor Who ones that it's almost difficult to find them anymore, even anywhere, except on the VHS. So I'm going to get them to transfer maybe a couple of them on to downloads so I can get them.
I just want to ask this. Do you remember the old tracking on the VHS?
Yeah.
When it didn't work out properly and you had to do tracking, it came up tracking like when it started going blurry and everything.
It was never the tracking with me, it was the lines. That's basically, I never got it going blurry or anything like that. It was just the lines were.
Yeah, if you heard the Channel 5 logo at the beginning, it was the music wasn't right, because it was going, making that weird stuff. That is from like the original VHS tapes, where the music it turns from mono to stereo and it's up and down like a yo-yo.
Yeah, but
It's a great shame we don't have like video players anymore.
I had one up until a couple of months ago. It just suddenly stopped because I still had it because I've got my Farscape down there, down here. I've got Farscape, I've got Doctor Who's, and I've got a couple of bits and pieces still down there. I've got. Whoop! I just dropped all my DVDs.
Lucky it wasn't UFO.
No, I've got these slide out things, and then when I turned round, the drawer got pushed in. It's wee stances either side. I've got them so I can pull them out and put stuff on.
You got the proper mess.
And then I turned the seat round, and the arm pushed it in, and all the DVDs just dropped. So it wouldn't have happened with the dogs on the other side because they're not on those shelves. But when they used to sit up there, I would pull the shelves out so they could sit on. But anyway, let's do a couple more DVDs.
Okay, I'll put you on.
Some of these are the old ones. There you go. How about that as an old movie?
Dive Bomber.
Dive Bomber, Errol Flynn and Fred McMurray. That's looking forward to seeing that again. Then another one for my John Wayne collection.
She wore a yellow ribbon. Yep.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. I watched that again. And this one's a box set. I've got one of these already. So when I saw this as all three, I thought might as well because I can get the three instead of one. And there you go. With Eagles there and Kelly.
Oh, my favourite war movies.
So nice wee box set. I think I've got them individually. So yeah, I mean that's it. It's just a wee set with the three. Yeah, I mean the case thing's not the greatest, but it's a wee bit. I would say it came for a charity shop. Can't complain. I got it for 50p. So that's it. And the last one I've got, the box set, is most people will go, huh? It's Tyrone Power. Yeah, I mean, it's just a collection, and it's got things like a Yank in the RAF, the Mark of Zorro, the Razor's Edge, in Old Chicago, and Second Fiddle. The one I remember is the Yank in the RAF and the Mark of Zorro. So, box set opened. That's how you open a box set. Just tip it into your lap. There you go. That's the Mark of Zorro. So a classic Zorro. And that's the one. He does the fight with Basil Rathbone, and the two of them are actual proper. The two of them know professional fencing. So when they're fighting in the Mark of Zorro, it is so well done. It is one of the best. Yeah, I mean, and a Yank in the RAF is the other one that I remember of his with Betty Grable. Tyrone Power and Betty Grable. So they're the two I remember, and I'm looking forward to seeing the other ones. But the Mark of Zorro I'm going to enjoy because of the sword fight. See if you ever get a chance, look up Tyrone Power and Basil Rathbone fencing. You see the two of them, and it shows that it's. See, like you get these ones in the choreograph the fight, and it just looks. I mean, and then they speed it up slightly to make it look as if these two guys. You see it. It's almost like the screens pull out, and you just see them fighting. There's no breaks here and there. It's literally, and the two of them are so. It's like remember the one they did with the court jester Danny Kaye. He was fighting Basil Rathbone again. Mm-hmm. It's because Basil Rathbone is such a professional fencer that it just looks so good.
Well, speaking about cowboy movies,
as we were,
no, because she wore a yellow ribbon.
Yes,
I was watching Tombstone the other day.
Another good movie.
I know because it got Val Kilmer in it, and I swear Val Kilmer deserved an Oscar.
Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday. I was
Yes.
watching a bit with him and Johnny Ringo. Were doing Johnny Ringo was pulling the gun and then Doc Holliday gives it the ooh, ooh.
I know, with the cut silver cup. But it's the line he kept coming out. He said to Johnny Ringo, he said, "I'm your Huckleberry."
Yeah.
And I had to look that up about Huckleberry. Because when he says Huckleberry, I thought it was Huckleberry Finn, but it's not.
Uh-huh.
But apparently, Kurt Russell said about on the set of Tombstone, he never met Val Kilmer, he met Doc Holliday. Because Val Kilmer was so in the part.
These actors that fully immerse themselves in to the point you've heard ones where while they were filming, you weren't allowed to call them their real name, you had to call them their character name, and they stayed in character. And to me, then they're no actors. An actor can go in and out of character because if you're in a character, then they cut. If you have to stay in that character, then you're not acting anymore.
I know.
Whereas if somebody could do a character and then they say cut and they turn around and they make a joke and laugh and joke with you, right? Let's go and reset this one and do that, and then they go back in and they're still as good. That's acting. But if you have to, people say, "Oh, you had to call them by this name all the time, and you have to do this." You weren't there, and you're sitting there thinking, so somebody's totally immersed in the point where they can't break from the character in real life, then they're not really acting. They're just. Yeah, I mean,
well, Val Kilmer is a legend in my eyes. He's a legendary.
Oh, he was, but because I was watching Real Genius.
Yes, Real Genius, and that's a classic.
I was watching that the other night, so I was.
But I've got to say, right. What's better, Tombstone or Wyatt Earp? Because I swear Kevin Costner was boring.
Tombstone.
Yeah.
It's just a more interesting movie.
I think Costner's version was a bit too long. And no offense to Dennis Quaid, but I don't think he made a convincing Doc Holliday.
The thing is, a convincing Doc Holliday doesn't mean anything to me, because who knows who was more nearer the real Doc Holliday. You can immerse yourself in a character, but the character might have nothing to do with the real Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
But it could still be a really interesting character. However, Dennis Quaid pulled it off, but it was just a better movie in on the whole.
190 minutes the Kevin Costner version was, and Tombstone came in around, give me a second, 130 minutes.
That's just basically storyline. That means nothing.
But to me, Tombstone was just about Tombstone.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed both of them, but Tombstone was the better movie. I picked this up at the charity shop.
Go ahead.
Nice big book. Nice big thick book. Right. Encyclopedia of the Unexplained is a fascinating selection that comes of the oldest and most recent mysteries of Earth and Heaven, re-examining with a rigorous objective scrutiny. What is the truth behind flying saucers, myths? Do ghosts and poltergeists really exist? Can the powers of the prehistoric stone circles and ancient ley lines affected 20th century lives? Is it possible and desirable to predict the future? In each of the 5 sections, UFO investigations, life after death, poltergeist and the paranormal, monsters in mysterious places, and Nostradamus and the visions of the future. This book provides a detailed, factual discussion and some of the most famous and bizarre examples of the intriguing phenomena, investigated through the historical accounts, eyewitness evidence, and the latest state-of-the-art scientific technologies. In cases after sensational case, the authors consider the evidence with cool, rational, and arrive at some surprising and disturbing conclusions. As an encyclopedia of the unexplained delves into the secrets of the seemingly inexplicable, the message is plain. The fate of humanity itself may depend on us deciphering the mysteries of the past, the present, and the future.
And you just read that from the entire back of the book.
That's what I'm saying. I was reading it. Of course I was reading it. Literally, that's what I was doing. I was reading it, give you the description.
It's not a script.
Not a script. It wasn't scripted at all.
Oh no, but the way you was reading it, like holding it.
I was reading that off the cuff. It came out of my head. Fair enough, it went into my head through my eyes and it came out of my head. But I'm really looking forward to it because look, it's just one page. Whoop. See this dodgy hand. As soon as I do that, basically my hand goes and I keep forgetting I can't twist it round. Right. So it's not just a lot of text. Every page has got 2 or 3 pictures and UFOs and everything. So that I'm looking forward to reading.
Well, anyway, I don't know if you heard the news lately.
Depends what the news is, so I wouldn't know.
Okay. Well, I was looking at your Judge Dredd helmet.
Uh-huh.
And you
about Mega City 1 again. They're still talking about it with Carol Urbane still behind it. I don't think it's going to go much further.
You've actually heard.
See again?
You've actually heard, that is certain YouTuber has said about it.
Yeah.
Because Mr. H Review said it's complete bullshit. I think Andre from Midnight said take it a pinch of grain of salt.
The thing is, Carol Urbane would love to do it. He's quite happy to be involved in it, but they won't do it. It will not happen for 2 reasons. First reason is they didn't class the movie as that successful enough to give it anything.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, remember the current climate we're still in. Are they going to have Judge Dredd, a white male authority figure, giving out justice? Even in the future, they're basically the comic book. I stopped reading the comic book because they actually started changing the way things were. Judge Dredd is meant to age. They could do some really good things like the hot dog run, no big expense and stuff like that. But
I was going to ask if it does come to like the main, as in like, it's going ahead and everything and this and that, and like, Amazon was going to do it. Are you going to give it a watch?
Oh, aye.
You are?
Yep. Carol Urbane in it, of course. But even if he's not in it, because initially it was meant to be Judge Dredd and Mega City 1.
Yeah.
Then they just named it Mega City 1 because they didn't want to have it centered around Judge Dredd. They wanted to have it centered around other judges in a judge squad. And Carol Urbane was just going to be in here and there. And to me, no, you don't have it around a squad because the squad of judges wasn't really, because each judge is a lot unto themselves. It wasn't really dealt with squads. There was certain squads within the Judge Dredd universe, but on the whole, street judges basically work individually unless they needed.
I was going to ask, right? What I watched Mr. H reviews earlier, and he said that Rebellion owns the rights to Judge Dredd.
Yep.
Question is, would Rebellion let Amazon make it?
No.
Well,
They wouldn't let up the control because they wouldn't want Amazon screwing with anything in it.
yeah.
They would want tight control.
Right. Well, if it does come to fruition, like saying, yeah, we're going to go ahead with it and this and that, you would give it a watch and then make your call. Because
do you know one of the best things to watch at the moment?
Yeah.
Judge Minty. It's a YouTube thing. A guy, they made it themselves. Judge Minty. They also did Strontium Dog. And both of them are excellent. Judge Minty doing the he did the long walk, and it's about Judge Minty. Just one judge getting taking the long walk. That's when a judge retires. He doesn't when he retires, he does one or two things. He goes to the academy to teach, or else he goes into the cursed earth to bring law to the lawless. So he's given basically ammunition, food in a bag, and sent into the cursed earth. And Judge Minty is a really, really good version of it.
I was going to say, I know Rebellion's doing the animated version of Rogue Trooper at the moment. I don't know when that's coming out.
Well, if that comes out, they've still been talking about Rogue Trooper for years as well.
Yeah.
Rogue Trooper is superb, but if Rebellion are the ones that are spearheading it, and they do a Rogue Trooper, the north v the south, in effect, it's like a play on the north and the south.
Yeah.
So you've got two armies, the north and the south, and if they made it, because I've got some of the badges from Judge Dredd, and one of them has got one of the clips from Rogue Trooper, because each of the troopers, when they die, have their personality downloaded to a chip, and the chip can go. He's got three of his friends. So one of his friends' chip is on his gun, one's on his helmet, and the other one is on his backpack. So in effect, even though there's Rogue Trooper, one of them, there's 4 characters within the story, and it's only him with his gun, his helmet, and his backpack, talking to him and advising him and stuff like that. So are they going to do that so there's only one character? It wouldn't really work, I don't think, as a live action one.
No.
Because having one person to fulfill the role and having just people off the screen talking to him, to act with him, as an animation, it would work a lot better.
Well, actually, if Amazon got the rights to Judge Dredd, then
They would destroy it.
Yeah. But if they played it right, who knows?
Well, considering what they've done with Harry Potter.
No, they don't do. They're not Harry Potter. It's
Disney. It's got Harry Potter.
No, Disney has got Harry Potter. It's Warner Brothers who's got Harry Potter.
Is it Warner Brothers? And they're saying they're going to keep it to the thing, and even they're screwing it over. Amazon did it with Tolkien, screwed it over.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't trust any of them not to screw it over, because there's too many people want to put their own ideas into a story. Yeah. They think they can do better than the originals.
Well, what the rumours are is that it's from the makers who did The Boys.
And I think The Boys was a crap because it's too dark.
I quite like it in a way.
I did not like The Boys at all.
The storyline to end.
See, the thing is, I like my heroes being heroes. So The Boys did not interest me at all. I watched a couple of episodes and went, nope, no for me. Because I like my heroes being heroes, my villains being villains. But my heroes being villains, not interested. I want to me, movies, books, and stuff like that about
Yeah.
heroes and villains should be thingy. Because if that's the case, politicians, remember, all think themselves the hero, and they're all a bunch of villainous, thieving buggers. But so when you start telling stories that your heroes are actually villains, but they're trying to be good, like politicians, and they're doing this because, I know, you can see that in real life. What do I want to see in a story form for? I want to see heroes being heroes. That's why I'm not looking forward to this new Superman, because I've seen the trailers for it, and it's no Superman. It's James Gunn. It's James Gunn. Superman James Gunn. And it's basically,
Okay.
I don't care about crypto. I've always thought crypto was a ridiculous thing in the Superman universe. The dog that could fly and stuff like that. In a cartoon, even in the comic book, I thought it was ridiculous. But in a live action one, it just looks stupid. And you know what I mean? And the fact is, since Christopher Reeve Superman and the first Superman, I'm not talking about the other ones, I've never seen a Superman I like. Even Henry Cavill Superman didn't like. Suppose the nearest I got to one that I liked was Dean Kane's Superman.
Well, I was going to say, if right, with if Amazon did Judge Dredd, the three main storylines I would love to see is the Apocalypse War.
Yes, but they won't do that.
Judge Death, Countdown to Necropolis.
I would love to see that, but I think that's a bad way to go down. They would need to start and have that near the end of any run, because you don't introduce a big character like that at the beginning, or else it's a waste.
And I know I read one where he visits Great Britain.
Oh, they basically, he did that. He did Japan, so he did Sin City. Yeah, he's done that one. Softly, softly, catchy purpy and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's done that before Cal City as well, where he met the Scottish judges with their sabres and stuff like that. But
Excuse me. Well, the ABC Warriors would be an interesting one to tackle.
the ABC Warriors would be, but early ABC, no the latest ones. The latest ones, I thought, see when they've got Psylocke in it, didn't like it as much. I liked the early stuff when you had Hammerstein and Mongo and stuff like that. They were really good.
Sorry for the noise in the background, everyone. Philip is watching Bedknobs and Broomsticks again.
But no, if I was wanting to see 3 stories from Judge Dredd,
Yep.
an easy one to do to introduce the justice system to everybody is a hot dog run.
Yes.
A hot dog run is dead simple. You take one senior judge and 5, 10 judge trainees who are going through their second part of training, similar to what they did in the Judge Dredd movie, Dredd 3D, with Carla Bain and what'd you call her?
Kirby, I think her last name.
Jennifer.
No.
No, because Healy, Henry Healy was she played Mama, but the one that plays Anderson going through her final training. The hot dog run is an earlier one, so they could have 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds playing junior judges, and this is going into the cursed earth as a training exercise. They could have mutants, zombies, rats, anything out there. They could do a couple of episodes of a hot dog run, and it basically gives you the judge teaching them what you need to know. So that,
the Angel Gang?
The Angel Gang is no one for the beginning. That's what I'm saying. You would need to actually introduce them. The Angel Gang you could have later on. I would do the Angel Gang if you were doing the when they were basically when they were given helping Tech City.
Yeah.
So they were driving to Mega City 2 across the cursed earth to give. I can't even remember why they couldn't fly it over, but they had to drive through the cursed earth with just a few of them to do it. Then you could introduce the Angel Gang there as the big bad in between. But I would like to see a hot dog run to start it with, and that way you can introduce that over a couple of episodes, introduce the judges and how hard a life it is and the hard training. Then go into something like I would like to see them dealing with the Harlem Heroes as well. That would be fun, jetpacks and stuff like that. But you could actually then go into the Apocalypse War would be one further down the line. You could also you could actually have the Judge Death, I think, is something you would do like your last season because you don't want to introduce something like that. But there's other stuff. There's PJ Maybe, the serial killer.
Yeah.
You could introduce things like that, or you don't want to introduce the Judge Child as well. That's another one. It's basically, it's a wee bit, it's weird. It can be brought down, but that's taking you out of Mega City.
Yeah.
It's space. Doing things like the 8 Gang or the Stookie Wars.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's a lot of good ones. If it was big stories, the Apocalypse War is 2 or 3 stories in one because it starts off with the Block War, then it gets into try to find the spy and the cure, then it goes straight into the Third World War, then it goes into the resistance and fight and claiming back and destroying Meg City. So there's that is like a 3 or 4 story line for that. But Block Wars would be fun.
Yeah. It is a difficult one, but let's just wait and
Judge
see.
Cal would be good.
Yeah.
Judge Caligula would be good.
Yes. It'd be
Chief
great.
Judge Fish.
Yeah, it'd be great watching him hold a fish bowl every day.
Aye, the guy in his boxer shorts with love hearts on them because he got a bit of dirt on his uniform and he was told never to wear a uniform again. So he has to start about with his helmet, a pair of boxer shorts and a pair of boots, holding Chief Judge Fish.
Oh God!
But you got Fergie and get rid of the last Fergie they had with Sylvester Stallone, and actually have a proper George of Mice and Men type Fergie. So.
Well, let's just take it as a grain of pinch of salt, shall we?
Well, that's exactly it because they've been talking about it for years and it's getting no further. And I think it won't go further because a lot of the time they're saying, "Oh, it's because of the money in this." I think it's a case of they're wanting to take the thing and actually say, "Right, we've got control. We could do this," and Rebellion are going, "Nope." So they go, "Oh well, in that case, we're not going to do it." And it's because I think they want to actually have the control to do what they want with the characters, and Rebellion are going, "No."
Yeah.
So
well, let's just wait and see.
Yeah.
But it would be fascinating, to see a proper live action Judge Dredd series.
Yeah.
But it's just rumours. It's just like rumours.
The thing is, it's rumours that are keep going round and round and round and round, and I don't think they're going to go very far.
Yeah, I know.
Because Amazon will want full control of what they do once they've got the character, and Rebellion will not allow them to mess with their main characters. It's not like Tolkien where there's no new. There's messing with characters that
Well-
are still being written about. Judge
Well-
Dredd is an ongoing story, so you
I know,
messing
'cause
around with them.
aspect with Judge Dredd, it's had so many different writers and artists over the years. 2000 AD is a property now that that will keep continuing going as long as
Oh,
people.
Judge Dredd eventually is going to be killed off.
Is he?
Oh, he has to, because see, since Judge Dredd started,
Mm-hmm.
the judge ages. So for every year, Judge Dredd has been on in the comic books, he's aged a year.
Yeah.
So they age the character with as they're writing the stories.
Mm.
So his stories he is being aged. At the moment, he's something like in his 68 or 69.
Mm.
So he is. So they're
No.
aging the character in the comics as you can.
Well.
What's that?
Anyway.
You can what? You
Yeah.
can't kill Dredd, but they can. They can kill Dredd. I'm not saying they're killing him off. As you think about it, they would have to replace the Judge Dredd character with a new Judge Dredd character, be it a clone or someone taking the mantle up, because they're aging the character up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but I'm talking about in the comic books. The comic books eventually they'll have to do something because they've tried it. They've introduced the Judah and stuff like that. The Judge Rico and him are clones of Chief Judge Fargo. But in the comic books, eventually, you can't have a 120-year-old judge being as tough as all these young rookie judges. Judge Dredd gets tougher because as he gets older.
Yep.
But they're aging him in the comic book, so he's not like Bart Simpson, same age all the time. Judge Dredd gets older as the comic book gets older.
Yeah.
So,
well, as Sadaku put it, in the film, he gets shot in the chest, and it just makes him angrier. And he also put, "You can't kill Judge. You can't kill Dredd."
You can't, but they have to eventually. They'll have to somehow replace him.
And I think the one who should write it if they're going to kill off Dredd is John Wagner. He created it.
Aye.
To finish him.
Yeah. But I think what they'll do is in the comic books, I think they'll do it'll either be a clone or they'll come across some technology to de-age him. But I think that's a wee bit ex machina type. I think what they'll have to do is either be a clone, like he's a clone of Judge Fargo, or they'll basically have to have someone who has been trained by Dredd and has got the same outlook, stepping into the mantle and taking on the Judge Dredd badge.
Oh yes. Anyway,
they should introduce other characters. They need to introduce Judge Giant. Judge Giant was the son of one of the Harlem Heroes from the Jets. They basically, the Harlem Heroes are a jetball team, the best jetball team ever. And Judge Giant, Giant from the Harlem Heroes, didn't want his son to bring me, so he basically took him to the Judge Academy when he was 5 to be trained because he wanted to give him something better than what he had. And Judge Giant becomes he gets killed off later on, but he is Judge Giant. To me, Judge Giant is a better judge than Judge Anderson. I never liked the Judge Anderson character. I like the Judge Dredd. I like Judge Hershey. I like Judge Giant. I like those type of judges rather than the side judges. So,
shall we start wrapping up, PJ?
Yep, definitely. So you got anything coming up?
Well, me and Colin will be back with Monday night with FFSI on the 5th of the 5th, 2025, which is a bank holiday Monday. But the thing is, we were going to broadcast this month, but a family issue came up, so we couldn't do it. But yeah, we'll be back on Bank Holiday Monday. Me and you will return at some point when we make an announcement date, probably next
Yes.
month at some point.
Yep. Next month is May. Oh, my birthday month, so we need to watch when. So, but I will do it sometime next month.
Okay. Well, we'll make the announcement at some point in the future anyway.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us, Sadaku.
And to all the viewers out there,
Yeah.
please like, share, and subscribe to FFSI and PJ Maybe's channel, and also his other channel. Please check that out. Is also the Let's Talk Geeky channel.
It's just literally at Let's Talk Geeky. I'm just launching it. I'm just doing clips at the moment of all the old shows. I'm still going through. I got caught up, as I said, watching Bilko, so that took a bit of time out like me. And I've got a couple of movies, like for instance, Real Genius and stuff like that. Dude, where's my car? Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I couldn't resist the Dude, where's my car with the big, the giant alien who steps over the family. Dad, I want to ride in that. So do I, son. So do I.
Anyway, so we'll be back next month at some point. We're going to make an announcement date for it soon anyway. So, but me and Colin will be back on Bank Holiday Monday next month.
Yep. So until then,
yes.
Remember, we're not old. We're classic.
Of course we are. Take care, everyone. See you next month. Bye-bye.